They call it the chlorophyll effect, and it's a strange sensation, as if the world were reborn under your very eyes. It's for this grandiose display of nature in the raw state that tourists flock in growing numbers to Costa Rica. Some of them have never left and have made it their living. Among them is John, an American, passionate about the environment, who settled here 35 years ago at Uvita on the edge of the Pacific in the south of the country. His business is ecotourism.
This is a local species of acacia. The cornuzuela ant lives on its thorns. This is the only tree on which this ant lives. There's no other place in the forest where you can find it.
This green paradise that the tourists adore so much is a finca, a farm of 20 hectares bought in the 70s on an impulse for $5,000. That was all the money he had.
When I bought this land, it was like that. The previous owner had already cut everything down. There were no trees left. There was grazing land. And then there were trees. I decided to leave them in place. Because that's why I came here, for the forest. The forest is the greatest treasure that they have here.
On the finca, the bungalows that house the tourists are all built from wood grown on the property. The same goes for everything from the garden. Here the aim is self-sufficiency. In this extraordinary hotel, they also try to change lifestyles. Here there is no pool, no TV, but a constant show of nature as only Costa Rica can offer. With a little luck, in the same day you can see dolphins, turtles and whales. It's for this type of holiday that travellers from the four corners of the world flock all year round to the smallest country in Central America. 2 million visitors annually, $1 billion in income. The figures speak for themselves. Costa Rica's biodiversity is a seller. The Switzerland of Central America, its nickname, reassures foreign investors. There's no army, a stable government, ideal for business. But concealed behind this image of Epinal is another reality. Here the rush for profit has begun. To see that, you just need to leave San Jose, the capital, and go to the coastal resort of Jaco, 3 hours drive away.
At $579,000, if we looked at it with a 5% discount, we looked at about $550,000 would probably be a good offer and a good price that the developer would accept. Okay.
We have a meeting with Lyle, a Californian real estate agent who set up here 3 years ago.
There's probably close to 20 projects in construction. We focus on everything that's on the beachfront. That's where we look at everything. There's less than 300 completed units on the beach right now. A total of less than 500 will be done by the end of the year. So I don't look at it as there's an excessive amount or overbuilding or an oversupply of product that's on the beach. I look at it as there's an undersupply.
Jaco is Costa Rica's ultra-American shop window, where everything is paid in dollars. The geography of the city is disconcertingly simple. A beach, a shopping street, and apartment buildings sprouting up like mushrooms. Barely 3 years ago, the roads weren't even paved, but since then, the real estate pioneers have arrived. Nicaraguan workers for American buyers.
They burn it to, they burn
the 10th floor of a luxury block facing the sea. Ly's client already owns property in Jaco. but he's looking to invest further.
They can't shop? What is it?
The Jaco area here is going to develop very, very quickly, as you can already see. And I think it's a good investment, better than I can find at most other places in the world right now because of the future potential of ecotourism in the world.
Ecotourism, that magic word again, but this time with a North American flavour.
In the next 15 years, I won't be able to probably see those buildings right there in front of me because there'll be another building right here in front of this one. I probably won't be able to see those buildings either because there'll be buildings everywhere. This is what people are buying, is the view.
In 15 years, I think it'll be more like Hawaii.
Today, Jaco has an appearance of France's Côte d'Azur, or the Costa del Sol in Spain. The big difference is that here the local authorities have not built a single water purification plant, and the height of the buildings is left to the promoter's discretion. In addition, you need only wait for nightfall to realise that other businesses have set up in town. Today, in the land of biodiversity, they're starting to sell their bodies and white powder. But for some, this nocturnal jungle is just like home. Lyle, our real estate adventurer, seems to have found the dream life he was looking for.
I came here 3 years ago, so they call me a pioneer. You know what I mean? I thought I was late. You know what I mean? 3 years ago, and now we're still in the we're still in the pioneer stage. We're in the first 3 years of development here. So either you come here and you can visualize and see what's going to happen here in this country, or you don't, and you can't see it. Come back in a few more years, you'll see it.
San Jose, the capital. To combat corruption and the failure to respect the laws regulating the natural domain, the state has set up a tribunal responsible for questions related to the environment. Its new president is called Jose Lino Chavez. They've nicknamed him the Green Judge. In less than a year, this man and his team have carved out a fine reputation for themselves. All by themselves, they have brought 460 cases and imposed $2 million in fines. Something never before seen in this country.
Cutting a private road with earth embankments and loose soil, illegal felling of timber in a virgin forest, building a road through a mangrove swamp, another road, building houses in the area of watercourse. We've lots of different things. It's very varied.
It was only to be expected. Since he was nominated, the judge has already received 14 death threats.
That sort of reaction just strengthens our resolve. We're on the right road, so naturally, that does not please everybody. But the more they threaten us, the more it gives us energy, strength, and the determination to fulfill our duty to our country. Yes, yeah. We're coming. Are you there? Is there anybody working on the site?
Okay.
Another tour of inspection in the field. First stop, Tamarindo in the Guanacaste, in the west of the country. This pearl on the edge of the Pacific was discovered by surfers 20 years ago. But since then, airbeds and beach rugs have made their appearance. Every year, tourists flock here in increasing numbers. Tamarindo's big attraction is its marine nature reserve that stretches for several kilometres along the coast. Here they protect the leatherback turtles. They come to lay their eggs on the beaches, beyond which the real estate juggernaut advances day by day. It has become a strategic battleground.
Hello. Joselino Chavez from the Environmental Tribunal. You're aware that there's a suspension of work in place. We've just come to carry out a routine inspection.
This construction site was halted by the judge a few months ago. The land that surrounds the house is situated within the boundaries of the nature reserve.
Here we have a procedure called immediate effect. It's a highly efficient special measure. As soon as we have any doubt, we freeze the project. But what we can't do for the moment is take any decision until the case has been heard. That's what we're doing at the moment.
The panic-stricken security man calls the owner.
Who's this?
It's the owner.
What's her name?
Anna.
Good morning, Madame. Joselino Chavez from the tribunal. How are you? Very well, thank you. Tell me... No. We're just carrying out a little inspection to make sure the suspension order is being respected. In fact, I can see that everything is in order, so there's nothing else. Yep. Goodbye, Madame. Thank you.
500 meters away, it's another story. The Costa Rican Supreme Court has just decided to extend the boundaries of the National Reserve. All the houses currently along the seafront are now illegal and liable to be demolished. The subject is ultra-sensitive. We arrive in the middle of a storm. The judge is really most unwelcome. Where are you from?
From France.
TV, and they want to know about what is everything with the problem, expropriation, they want to see about it.
The owner's husband is American. After some hesitation, he agrees to open his door to us. He is very angry.
So here is your paradise.
Yeah, paradise. No, this is not a paradise. This has been the nightmare of all nightmares. I've lived here 14 years, took 80% of my life's work and money that I had worked very hard for the United States, invested it in Costa Rica. Now the government is taking everything I own and will pay us nothing, not $1. My home that you're standing in front of, I am a builder, 4 years to build this home.
How you will feel if you wake up and they're telling you, oh, sorry, you have to leave, we're taking your home? Okay, perfect. Take my home, pay me for my home. But they're not going to pay you anything. They don't have money.
If Tamarindo is in the sights of the law just now, it is because this little Far West has also grown too quickly. Too much money, too much speculation, and too much corruption. As in Jaco, they get around the planning laws with no problem. Officially, buildings must not exceed 3 stories.
Well, what do you think? Do you think it's pretty? Look at this building. It's got 7 or 8 floors. It's a monster.
The wild real estate fever that has gripped Tamarindo has had a devastating effect on the less affluent families of the village. Gradually, they are being pushed out.
My father owned a property here. It went down as far as there. And all that there, too. Everything that they call the rotunda was ours. My house is still there.
And what happened?
Oh, one of those things. Some people took advantage of my father's innocence. He couldn't read or write.
Families forced to sell their land and leave their village. Power shovels that day and night dig up riverbeds or the hills overlooking the sea. That is the new reality of the paradise of biodiversity. As you cross Costa Rica, you discover a land that is a construction site. However, faced with this situation, certain inhabitants have decided to put up resistance, notably in the arid region of Guanacaste. Here, a few months ago, the exasperation of the village community turned into a riot. The population of Sardinal took to the streets to protest a project that would pump water from a river that supplied their village. The water from Sardinal was to be diverted to supply construction projects on the coast 10 kilometres away. But they didn't count on the mobilisation of the population of Sardinal and the determination of Gadi Amit.
That there, where it's fenced off, is a planned golf course. They've already cut down the forest that was here. They're going to build a golf course where there's no water for 6 months of the year. It's totally crazy, it's surreal. It's not even viable. It'll waste a huge amount of water.
This Don Quixote of the environment is fighting on all fronts. After several months of struggle and process, he succeeded in freezing the plan to divert the water of Sardinal. This reservoir was supposed to receive 250,000 square metres of water. It remains desperately empty.
The water from this reservoir was intended for projects such as this complex that belongs to a major real estate company. The land here is theirs, they own it. They built all these houses, but today they have no water supply, so their construction is illegal. You're not allowed to build if there's no water.
A year has passed since the affair began. The project is still frozen, and the village has regained its calm. But the old folk who also threw themselves into this unlikely struggle remain vigilant, because the battle of Sardinal is not yet won. The case is still to be ruled on.
This isn't sharing water. It's drying up Sardinal's groundwater reserves to supply a project down there on the coast. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. You don't do that.
Yes, but the future here is tourism.
No. Tourism is not the future of Sardinal. These people are investors who want to sell houses. Because I'm all for sustainable, reasonable development, but with low houses and not these big buildings that will consume double the amount of water. Who's going to pay for it all? They're going to pump water from Sardinal 24 hours a day.
Night has fallen over Tamarindo. Sitting at the same table are Gadi Amit and Joselino Chavez. The Don Quixote of the environment didn't miss the chance of a meeting. He has files to submit to the Green Judge. The two men know each other well.
It's true that in certain cases, people like him have taken a radical position. Also, sometimes they're fighting for good reasons, but that makes them look like fanatics. In any case, I prefer a person like that, but who has good intentions, rather than somebody who does absolutely nothing for the country.
On the way to the south of Costa Rica. Here there's no shortage of water. On the contrary. The Osa region that we're flying over reveals another threat to the natural environment. Judge Chavez gazes in astonishment at a projected development of 400 houses. The forest has been cleared to make way for roads. The earth is laid bare. The latest torrential downpours have already begun their irreversible process of erosion.
Look, you can see the result of the movement of the earth that is spilling down towards the sea. It's a really impressive buildup of sediment. The danger is to the coral. With this buildup of sediment, the coral is being stifled. It's really appalling.
On the ground, the topography of the development we have just flown over reveals the full extent of the problem.
It's impressive, the number of roads they've opened from the beach up to the higher parts up on the hill. There's a very important hydrological system at work here. That means that most of the springs that feed the villages in the Osa region have their sources here. But the most serious problem is that these roads cause considerable disturbance to the ecological balance. They've cut the wild animals' territory in two. They can't get through anymore.
The work was stopped several months ago by the judge who this time decided to return to the site with an army of specialists. Hydrologists, biologists and geologists will run a fine-tooth comb over the area. For the developer, a Canadian set up in Costa Rica, it's the make or break moment. With his environmental advisor, he's going to try to get the development reopened. Despite an apparent cordiality, the atmosphere is electric, and our presence an embarrassment.
Did you bring them along?
No, they came by themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure. You brought them along. I have to congratulate you for this initiative.
Seems to be going okay here.
Well, I think we're demonstrating our good faith and our ability to produce work that's in tune with the laws of the land and the standards that have been set. That's what we're trying to demonstrate.
He's out of luck. The engineers are going to inspect everything.
On the GPS, we can clearly see that we're between two water sources. One is there, and the other down there.
Below one of the roads built for the future development, two engineers quickly discover the pipework that diverts the natural flow of the water.
Hay vida, ma. Hay vida, material. Está potable.
This is drinking water.
Está bien.
It's okay.
Potable.
It's drinkable.
Este es un proyecto enorme, es muy grande.
This is really a huge project. If all the houses, once they're built, tip their waste into the little dam that they've made here, then this natural spring will be turned into an overflow for rain and wastewater, and that's unacceptable.
The law of the environment against the law of the market. Right to the end, the developer pleads his case. His arguments are well rehearsed.
Well, it's true that since this stricter attitude was adopted, several projects have closed. There's no work. People are looking for work. Families have nothing. I say to the judge, what we're asking you to do is to let us be. Allow us to work, to set the situation right, but let's make good all the rest. Let us finish the project so that we're able to deal with the coming season.
The marathon day for the tribunal continues in the middle of a forest that is 1,000 years old. The judge shows us a house of 5,000 square feet under construction. The setting is magnificent. The sea view is unbeatable. There's just one problem. No building permit was ever issued. What's going to become of this house?
The procedure is to demolish it or leave it as it is and let nature take its course. We'll follow our engineer's advice.
Will somebody live in this house one day?
Certainly not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
This visceral need to change the course of events is shared by the Green Judge and John, the gentleman farmer. To finish their tour, the tribunal makes a detour by way of Uvita. John has just alerted the judge. A new real estate project is threatening the neighbouring forest.
Did you know about this project?
No, I didn't.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yes, but you know, this sort of information never comes to us directly. It generally comes via the technical department of the Ministry for the Environment or city halls. But as from tomorrow, you can be sure that our engineers will be all over this forest and taking all necessary measures so that not a single tree is cut down. This is the public domain. This land is under state control.
The judge has already left for the capital and his caseload, leaving John with his hope and his fears.
There are lots of species of marine life that can only live here. The coast is entirely virgin and it would be a crime to cut this forest down. All these need complete protection. Because if we agree to the coastal forest being destroyed, the whole ecosystem of the coast will be affected. I believe that if they continue with this development the way it's going now, then everything will be destroyed very quickly. That would be tragic. I don't really want to see that.
Will Costa Rica's exceptional biodiversity survive fresh commercial appetites? A big question. The stakes are enormous.